Teachers of Reddit, what's the funniest answer you've gotten from a student that technically wasn't wrong? My first grade class was learning the word powerful. Kids came up with examples of powerful things and people, like elephants and Superman. Then one boy said, babies are powerful because they can cry and get whatever they want. Apostrophe. You found the big brother. Teacher, I need a pencil. Where do the pencils live? I have a bucket of sharpened pencils for them to use. Pennsylvania. In 7th grade on a test the question said, why do some people see some technology as positive and others see the same technology as a problem? And a kid simply put, because some people are Amish. Apostrophe. I remember in year 3 we had to answer a logic question about why there might be an uneven amount of shoes at the door. Ed recently watched Titanic for the first time, so decided to write one person might be a one-legged prostitute. It helped that my mum was parent helper that day. I mean, why else would there be an uneven number of shoes? Lol. 5. A teacher here. I always wear shorts teaching. Parent-teacher conferences roll around. Grade 1 student comes up to me with her parents. Mr. Famous 1187. I've never seen you wear pants before. I've never responded quicker to a comment before in my life to clear that up. Reminds me of when my wife worked in an undisclosed location women's shelter. My daughter wanted to see where mommy worked, but we could never go. I was picking up my daughter from school when she said in the middle of the crowded school hall, Daddy, can we finally go visit mommy in the shelter? Teaching English Ito middle schoolers in Korea asks, okay, what's another way you can express surprise in English after going over expressions like, no way, are you serious? Are you kidding me? Kid yells from the very back of the room. What the fuck? Another story you guys might like from the same classroom was going over tastes and food related descriptions. I brought up the word sticky and gave some examples, then asked if any 35 plus students could think of more foods that are sticky. One quieter kid raised their hand and with the most serious look on their face, me. What was that? Mortified student, me. No idea what to do or say. Another student, teacher, made chewing motion with mouth me. Finally realized that they were saying gum because the G and C/K often sound the same to Koreans. Yes, gum. Right. I laughed for the 10 whole minute break after that class and still have no idea how I didn't while in front of the room. I've taught English in Korea and Japan, and while maybe not that funny, one student who wanted to say something like afterwards, or in the end, wrote the after was here. I stopped for a moment and just stared off into space after reading that. I tried so hard and got so far, but the after was here, it doesn't really matter. I'm surprised it got so far. Things aren't the way they were before. You wouldn't even recognize me anymore. Not that you knew me back then, but it all comes back to me. The after was here. Teaching English in Korea going over vocabulary words. Does an egg familiar same kid a month or so later. Evolution monkey level up. Reminds me of an anecdote I heard in another thread. A nation guy was grocery shopping in America, but couldn't remember the English word for chick to remedy the situation. He grabbed an egg, walked up to a cashier, held up the egg, and asked where is mother? As someone who once stood at a butcher shop mooing at the meat in an attempt to get them to understand I wanted to buy beef when I didn't know so much as the word cow. I totally respect this dude. I teach ESL in a university in China. The topic in class was the effect of sleep on study. After introducing the phrase pulling an all-nighter, I asked the students to give some advice on how they can stay awake in class after the pulled an all-nighter. Student, take some cocaine. Me, give student an odd look. Excuse me. Student, yes, you know, like in Coca-Cola, coffee, tea. Me, pauses for a moment, now understanding what he meant, but prompting him cocaine. Student, realizes what he has done. Oh shit, I meant caffeine. Apostrophe. Well, cocaine would probably work. On a 3rd grade Charlotte's web quiz, give 2 pieces of evidence that support this statement. Charlotte was a good friend to Wilbur. She comforted him, and she didn't let him become pork. Apostrophe. You know what I don't get about that story? Why is the pig the one who becomes famous? The real news is the ducking super genius spider who knows how to think critically and write in English. Who cares what it thinks about the pig? I want to know its thoughts on the origins of reality. Thank God we don't live in a world where talentless pigs hog the limelight. Elementary school kid saw the answer key. He swore he came up with answers may vary, all on his own. What's sad is we had to grade a first semester chemistry test once at university that was made for the medical students. I don't remember if the medical students were at first semester too. They just took the test together with the first semester chemistry students, but had an alternative version anyway. Thing is, the grading sheet with the right answers was leaked beforehand. One student wrote the correct answer down and then wrote 1 point for every correct formula underneath. How do you finish school without walking in front of a car if you are that damn stupid? In high school classes where in Spanish a teacher was angry about people copy pasting online material for homework. She claimed one essay even contained a click here if you want to know more about Tutankhamun. One of my classmates started laughing and the teacher told him you shouldn't be laughing. You didn't even realize your essay was in Portuguese. I wish I was making this up. I asked a 3-year-old what love was for a Valentine's Day card to his parents. His response, maybe love is what tornadoes need. We call him the professor because he teaches us new things every day. In nutrition class at CC, the teacher asks what's one of the first things you throw out of the window when you drink alcohol. This kid just mumbles, standards. What was supposed to be the answer? The question. A man has to get a fox, a chicken, and a sack of corn across a river. He has a rowboat, and it can only carry him, and one other thing. If the fox and the chicken are left together, the fox will eat the chick. If the chicken and the corn are left together, the chicken will eat the corn. How does the man do it? Students answer, let the chicken eat the corn, and let the fox eat the chick, then bring the fox over. Apostrophe. Not a teacher, but a fellow student once answered in the head to the question, where was JFK shot? Instead the intended answer of Dallas. I mean, he was also shot in his car. I've got a story from my fiance's childhood. They were testing her intelligence or awareness and showed her an image with a TV in a room. The TV was turned on, showing a cartoon, and had a plant on top of it. Q. What's on the television? A plant. Apparently she just kept insisting in utter frustration until the administrator bothered to look at the image and not the answer sheet. Reminds me of a friend's story. I don't know about public schools, but for sure at private schools you get a little quiz type test with a teacher before they confirm you're ready for kindergarten. One of the things he had to do was identify pictures. He aced the section except for the picture of the airplane. He looked and thought hard and then burst into tears saying, I don't know what that is. Turns out his dad worked for Boeing and he was trying and failing to discern exactly what model plane the super generic picture was depicting. During a similar test I was completely sure the color I was supposed to identify was dark blue, not black. I was so insistent that the tester got a few other people to look at it and they decided that it really was a very dark blue. Why are you late? The bell went off before I got here. Apostrophe. Why are you late? I had trouble with my bike. What was the trouble? I didn't get on it early enough. My dad used to coach basketball and was trying to get the kids into a 2-2-3 zone. He yelled out to one kid in particular who was in man-to-man, what defense are we playing? Kid slaps the floor and says tough defense. This is intentional, but I teach a foreign language, and so when I introduce the word for I don't know I call on a student who typically gets answers wrong and ask them to translate the word as if she should know it. When the student inevitably responds, I don't know, I tell them they're right and the look on their face is always priceless. In a class that deals with electricity, I asked the students to name a good conductor. Leonard Bernstein. As a music teacher, this brings me great joy. Asked what is the moral of the story, the little engine that could answered, don't pick up hitchhikers. To refresh your memory, the engine had trouble getting up the hill because he had taken on several more passengers due to their train breaking down. Edit, I fell asleep. Sorry to all of those who suffered from the missing parenthesis. Also, the moral, perseverance, believe in yourself, don't give up. If I've learned anything from TV, is that if you pick up a hitchhiker, they're either a murderer, a ghost, or a hoopy fruit. Not a teacher but someone told me this. What side of the road do people in France drive on? Miss, they drive on both sides. Apostrophe. Oh man, this reminds me of the time I tried to find an elevator at the Louvre. I found one, but it only went to lower levels, and I was trying to go up a level. I saw some museum employees and asked if they knew where there was an elevator to go up. They took me to the same elevator. I was confused and asked, but does it go up? They were like, yes, elevators go up and down, rolled their eyes and walked away.